Done one of these weekly reviews. Basically, this is a series, if you don't know, on my channel where I watch a bunch of movies that I don't really have a video to review them all in or something, and I just put them all in one video, talk about each individual movie for a little bit, not for long, don't really tell you too much about the movie, just hey, I watched it, for those who want to know. And yeah, even though this is called weekly reviews, I don't really do them weekly, but I'm not going to change the name of the series because we're already multiple episodes in, so might as well just keep it that way. So I guess let's start with the one I watched most recently, The Wraith, or Wrath. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this one. This is a Vestron video title that I picked up like a couple weeks ago. It's like $13 at Walmart. You can get it on Amazon, other places. And, Vestron Video has really cool artwork on their releases. Like, look at this. Look at this cool slipcover. Tons of special features. Got writer and director commentaries and interviews and all that kind of cool stuff. And they're really cheap. I think they start at pre-order prices like $18 or something like that. About $13. But then you go pick them up in the store and they're about $13. Pretty cheap. Like I said, that's why they go into Walmart. How Walmart actually does physical media. A lot of people don't know this. Is they price things. So whatever movie they're going to have in their store has to be under a certain price point because anything above that certain price point they don't think it would sell. So they used to not carry these because they used to be very expensive, but now they're lower in price point, so they're willing to take them. And that's why they lowered their price point. That's why Vestron Video did that. They wanted to keep these titles in the store. So I picked this one up a couple weeks ago, and I just haven't had time to watch it. I didn't know anything about this movie. It has Charlie Sheen, Randy Quaid, some other people. And it features the music of Billy Idol, Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue, some other people. And I would say this is a fun movie. It's an enjoyable watch. I had a good time watching it. But it's not a good movie. First of all, it has like a ton of 80s tropes in this movie, like the douchebag boyfriend, and this is the most ridiculous one I've ever seen. I mean, he does some truly awful things in this movie. Like, it's the most absurd one I've seen in like any 80s movie. It's definitely a trope. It's kind of like think about like Steve from Stranger Things, right? That kind of character, at least in the first scene, Steve becomes a better character. That's what makes him such a good subversion of that trope, is you think he's just going to be the douchebag ex-boyfriend or boyfriend or whatever, but then he becomes better, and that's what makes him such a good character in Stranger Things. But that's kind of not what but it's based on this 80s trope of every boyfriend being like a douchebag and things like that, and then they but they're just a douchebag through the whole thing. That's the difference. So in this movie, it's really absurd. And the music in this movie, it's Motley Crue, Billy Idol, but they have songs of theirs that are really timeless and hold up still. And these are not the songs they choose for the movie. They're very, very 80s. This movie is very, very 1980s. If you love that sort of thing, you're going to have a good time with it. But it's not a movie that holds up very well today at all. But it's not a bad movie to watch. Like, it's a good time. It's fun. I had a great time watching it. I enjoyed it, but it was like, it's still not a good movie. So, yeah, I guess I recommend it if you understand all that. If you do, cool. If you don't, it's not worth your time. Next thing I watched was this Tolkien, J.R. Tolkien Masters of the Ring, which has a soundtrack in here. Beautiful artwork here. Look at that. Amazing artwork here. Love this set. I picked this set up at the Dollar Tree I think it was a month ago. Yeah, it was a month ago. And, there's a great, and it has a CD in here, which I'm listening to. I kind of want to do that. But, the DVD is what I watched, which is just a documentary about Tolkien and the world of Lord of the Rings. And it was a decent documentary. It wasn't like a really good one or anything. I think it was like, it kind of felt like a very cheap kind of TV movie, or like, just kind of a normal documentary type thing, one you would see on TV or something. And it was fine. I enjoyed it. I kind of just, not one I'm ever going to watch again, but it's a cool, like, collector's piece as a fan of Tolkien and his work and Lord of the Rings and stuff, which I've kind of recently developed a big fandom myself for that. Then like a month ago, I watched Pink Floyd's The Wall. I don't know if I ever put this in a video, but this is a really great movie. Basically, Pink Floyd's The Wall, I think I have it. Yeah, right here. Pink Floyd's The Wall is an album that Pink Floyd made, and it's like, it has themes of like drug addiction, abuse, anti-violence, and like, fears of like death after World War II, and all these like insane themes and disturbing images and things like that. It's very artistic, very beautiful. One of the greatest albums ever made. It's Pink Floyd's greatest album, if you ask me. Some people say Dark Side of the Moon. I like Dark Side of the Moon. In fact, I have that one right here. So, but it's a good album, but it's not as good as The Wall. It just isn't, if you ask me. And Pink Floyd basically adapted this movie into a film, and basically it just adds visuals to the songs, which unlike Purple Rain, where that movie did this kind of a similar thing. That movie felt like a music video. This does not feel like a music video. It feels very cinematic because the album sounds very cinematic, has a very cinematic quality to it. And a lot of these songs, when I listen to them in my record player over here, you can't see it, but I have it there. Let's see if I move the camera a little bit so you kind of see it. Yeah, right there. There's my record player. When I play that album, I think of all the visuals in my head from this movie, because that it just fits so well. And so if you like that album, if you like what that's saying, this is one of the greatest translations of an album to film I can ever think of. Like, it's just beautiful. I think it's one of the best movies ever made, if you ask me, based on one of the greatest albums ever made. It's that good. Then I watched What About Bob. This was a while ago. I don't remember if I put this one in a video or not. What About Bob is a fun little Bill Murray movie. It's not as funny as I remember it being. I'd seen it a while ago, but it was still pretty funny. I really enjoyed that. So, not one of my favorite Bill Murray movies, though. House Guest. I think I put this one in a video, but I'm just saying I watched it just in case I didn't. I don't remember, because again, it's been a really long time since I recorded one of these videos. And then I watched Bubble Boy, which I might have put this one in a video, but I really don't think I did. Bubble Boy is basically this movie where this kid is raised in a bubble, because basically he lacks the part of his body that basically protects him from germs and stuff. So he's in love with this girl, and he can't really touch her because he has to be in a bubble. And the girl likes him too, but he has to go on like this crazy adventure and do some crazy stuff. And it's from the producers of The Spy Who Shagged Me. And if you've seen that movie, it kind of has that mature tone and like goofy comedy to it. So if you like that sort of a thing, it's in here. In fact, a lot of those moments are the funniest parts of the movie. It's fun to, but it's not like as good as that movie. It's like, I would say the first 30 minutes of this movie, I was watching it being like, yeah, this is really enjoyable. It's a fun comedy movie. And it was like, the more the movie went on, it kind of lost its gimmick. It's the comedy about the guy being in the bubble, which it still does that, but it's like, the gimmick could only last so long. Like, it's not that funny of a movie, because it's just like, it's based on such a stupid concept that you could do really funny things with it, but they have to keep upping the ridiculousness. I don't think they're able to do that. In fact, once the guy, the kid in the movie goes out on his own and stuff, and goes on this adventure and stuff, I think the movie gets less and less funny and good, and it's just like, it's just boring. So yeah, I think it's, I know there's like a audience for this movie that love this movie, but I am not one of those people. I think it's like, I hadn't seen it before I bought it, and I wanted to watch it, and yeah, it was fine, but it just wasn't it just was not one of my favorite comedies whatsoever. It's just like, eh. So that's kind of everything I watched recently. That's my little video here. I should have a review for GoldenEye. That should be later, either tomorrow or today. And I will be talking about GoldenEye and my thoughts on that film, which I love GoldenEye. One of my favorite James Bond films. And I will let you know, I don't review as many modern new movies because, unfortunately, because of my new job, I don't have time to watch new movies. I have time to sell tickets to new movies because that's my job, but I don't have time to actually sit down and go to them myself. But I'm trying to work out that and have reviews out for you when I can. But just so you know, you guys have to be patient with videos. Videos come out when I can put them out. So videos come far and far in between. That's why. Sorry about the delay.